So let me start at the very beginning. And I feel there's no more telling way of pointing this out than the fact that when Punjab was not Punjab, when Bengal was not Bengal, when Maharashtra was not Maharashtra, when Karnataka was not Karnataka, when Andhra was not Andhra, when Kerala was not Kerala, Kashmir was Kashmir. We as Kashmiri Hindus use an almanac, what in Sanskrit is called Panchang, of which 5093rd year is running. So it is that time in continuity. Every year we publish that year's almanac. In Kashmiri we call it Jantri. It is about the dates, the key festivals, the key observations, the key rituals that we all need to go through, the specific time and day of that. And it is part of our elaborate timekeeping, what in Sanskrit is called Kala Ganana, which a whole host of communities across the country do in their respective geographies, following their own respective Panchang. Some call it Vikrami Samvat, some call it Shak Samvat, we call it Saptarishi Samvat. That old is the tradition, going just by the number that this year's Jantri carries. Scratch a little, and I'm told there is actually a Puran about us. It's called Nilmat Puran. This Nilmat Puran starts with a conversation. And this conversation is between Raja Janamejaya and Rishi Vaishampayan. To tell you who Raja Janamejaya was, he was the great-grandson of Arjuna. He was the grandson of Abhimanyu. He was the son of Parikshit. That is who Raja Janamejaya was. And who was Vaishampayan? Vaishampayan was the son and the foremost disciple of Veda Vyasa, who wrote Mahabharata. So Raja Janamejaya asks Rishi Vaishampayan, in Mahabharata, armies from across the country came to fight. And to fight for the truth, for the dharma as they saw it, as their kings saw it. But why didn't the army of Kashmir come to fight in Mahabharata? So those who say Kashmir was never part of Bharat should know that Kashmir figured in the context of Mahabharata also, where the armies were expected, but both Pandavas and Kauravas decided not to call the army. And what was the reason? So Rishi Vaishampayan says the reason was that the king of Kashmir was a juvenile, was not adult. And our morality of war dictates that juveniles do not take part in war because they don't know better. They don't have the judgment to choose the right side to pick for the battle. You know, the tradition was in Mahabharata, both Pandavas and Kauravas had to invite, and the invited king would decide whether he would fight for Kauravas or for Pandavas. Those who believe in democratic spirit and freedom to choose can appreciate this fact. And would also know that then, 5 millennia ago, the kind of morality in even war prevailed in that society, in that value system. So the next question obviously was that how was this king juvenile? What happened? And he says, and there is an interesting story, he says when Krishna slayed Kansa, Jarasandh, who was then one of the relatives of Kansa, also of Krishna, because Krishna and Kansa were related, he didn't approve of this slaying, and he invited the king of Kashmir, Gonanda, to avenge the killing of Kansa. So Gonanda came, and when he challenged Krishna to a duel, Balarama came in between and he said, well, you have to defeat me before you get to my brother. And in that duel, Balarama slayed Gonanda, the king of Kashmir. Gonanda didn't have a son, so his brother, Damodara, ascended the throne. Years later, when Krishna was going to Gandhar for a Swayamvar to marry Satyabhama, Gandhar, Kashmir was considered one Janapada at that time. And he had to go through that territory. Damodara remembered that my brother was slayed by his brother, and I have an opportunity to challenge Krishna and avenge the killing of my brother. So he challenges Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna slays Damodara in a duel. Now the entire Yadukul tells Krishna that, listen, he has also died without an heir, so why don't we merge the two kingdoms? And Krishna said, no, that is not the morality of statecraft. The kingdom belongs to the right heir. He says, but he has no heir. Krishna says, yes, he has an heir, but he is in the womb of his wife Yashomati. So what do? He goes to Kashmir and coronates Yashomati as the regent, as the queen ruler. Arguably, she was the first woman ruler king of the world. She was in Kashmir and coronated by none other than Krishna himself. So when Mahabharata happened, her son was born, her son was named Gonanda II, he was still a juvenile, and both Pandavas and Kauravas decided not to invite him to war. So that is the story of Kashmir. Kashmir, which has not undergone any distortion in name over several millennia. In Sanskrit, the word Kashmir, the literal meaning of Kashmir is saffron. That's where the word Kesar is derived from. And when you, in a conversation, say, give him a little bit of Kashmir, means give him a little bit of saffron. It's the other way around. The people are asking for Kashmir in a different sense. Otherwise, there wasn't much of a problem. So that's a small legend about Kashmir, as old as that.